the 22nd of April 2024. This is what we have for you this afternoon. The Uganda Police Force has warned of intentions to revoke licenses of up to 20 security companies. According to police spokesperson Fred Enanga, there is an increase in gun misuse by security guards who fail to comply with the statutory guidelines during their role, in their line of duty. We have details to it.
Guns. Others loiter aimlessly with their guns. Others use borders, which are all risky methods. So in an effort to stem the flow of gun violence by private security guards and violent attacks against them, their clients, and the community, the police, through the Directorate of Operations, has come up with several initiatives to prevent such tragedies indicated above. First of all, we've directed all our territorial commanders to arrest individual errant security guards in breach of the guidelines that we gave them. These guidelines are very clear, these guidelines are very clear under the statutory instruments that we shared with the private security organizations. So the arrests are supposed to be conducted. Then secondly, confiscation of guns that are being poorly handled by these private security guards. At the headquarter level, we have started a process. We have 7 private security organizations that are being vetted with the intentions of having the licenses cancelled. Then an additional 20 private security organizations are also being evaluated for suspension for a period so that they can comply with the guidelines that we've given them. The process is going to be concluded this week. So in our next meeting, we are going to release the list of 20 private security organizations that are going to be suspended for non-compliance, and 7 others that are going to have their licenses cancelled.
That is police spokesperson Fred Enanga highlighting on the issue to do with gun misuse, especially among security guards employed and deployed by private companies. We'll have details in our subsequent bulletins to that story. Away from that, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, that's normally known as DPP, is holding the annual Prosecutors Symposium of the year 2024, held under the theme Strengthening Capacity of Prosecution to Counter Organized and Emerging Crimes. It aims at the way forward of prosecuting and handling organized crimes. Development partners blame the increase of organized crime, which mostly affects women and children, on poverty, of which Uganda is ranked among the countries in Africa where organized crime is at a high rate, witnessed through migrants and labor exploitation, human trafficking, among others. Development partners have also called for collective efforts from all stakeholders and government to come up with a national policy to counter organized crime. The symposium will run for 3 days, and later prosecutors will convene again for the Joan Kagezi Memorial Lecture that will be held at Kololo Independence Grounds. UBC Lunchtime News. The Parliamentary Forum on Labour, Decent Employment and Productivity is in Entebbe to discuss issues surrounding labour exploitation, which remain a big challenge, and reflect on the implementation of decent work programs for both formal and informal sectors. During the official opening of the 2 days engagement, Sarah Opendi, the chairperson of the forum, representing the Minister of State for Labour, highlighted some of the expectations of the training, which include looking at Labour Acts and Workers' Compensation Act, which are outdated, and taking a platform to look forward on the review and amendment of the two.
With international labor standards, which includes but not limited to the Employment Act number 6 of 2006, the Labor Unions Act number 7 of 2006, the Labor Disputes, Arbitrations and Settlement Amendment Act 2021, and the Workers' Compensation Act 2025. However, despite having these legislations in place, some of them are over a decade old. There is therefore need to actually undertake a legal review, identify the gaps, and make the necessary amendments. One of the things that we did last year through the Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association, we had the workers' members of parliament sponsoring the private members' bill, the Employment Amendment Bill 2022. This bill was passed by parliament. Unfortunately, it was not assented to by the president.
Because as we talk about productivity, productivity cannot be achieved without addressing the issue of skills. In Uganda today, we have an oversupply of skills, but skills which are not market relevant. So as we think about decent work and social protection, let's look at the whole 360 dimension. And as ILO, just to remind you, we are 104 years old by the way. And when I say we, it is you, because you are a member state of the ILO. We are only the secretariat. And as ILO, we believe in 4 key principles. And one of them is the elimination of all forms of forced or compulsory labor, the effective abolition of child labor, the elimination of discrimination in respect of employment and occupation, and lastly, we believe in a healthy working environment.
Because we believe that there's a lack of data on decent work and social protection, although there's a goodwill to talk about it, and also good synergy that I see today with the MPs, but there is lack of financing, for example. And since there is lack of financing, we need more advocacy to invest in it. And why should we invest in it? Because when we invest in it, we will see that it will enhance gender equality, it will enhance the productivity. It's quite impossible to improve the productivity under poor working conditions, and it's also quite difficult to improve the working conditions with a more investment in the capital when the cycle is not unbreakable.
Men have been urged to stand by godly ways to command their spiritual, financial, and social position. This was during the 7th edition of the Men Gather, which was attended by over 4,000 of them.
From the time the ministry started, we came to make sure that we take the people back to the Bible truth. And that is what our ministry stands for. In our teaching, we make sure that we keep on interacting with every group of people, but also to make sure that every area of life is touched here and there. So it is just that today, like we've had 7 seasons of Men Gather, that we've concentrated on a man, but in our daily services, okay, we do the same. In our sermons, if you happen to get an opportunity to search out our sermons and listen to them, you hear different things spoken about who we are in God. Because when God called us, who created us, He created us to rule the earth. Okay? When He created us to rule the earth, we need to know how to rule the earth. We need to know what God says, who we are, so that we can take back our identity and be able to rule with Him the way He created us.
Men like Eliezer, the son of Dodo. These are men the Lord is carving. Maneto predea tola sepe. Elusta terania katai. Malandelia talapaya. Maliza veligilia notreno.
If we have a segment that we are going to deal with men, okay, we want to bring out what the Bible teaches about men, who they are. We want men to take back their position as men. Because, of course, humanity sometimes, because of the many things that comes in here and there, you find that people sometimes lose course. And when they lose that course, it requires that somebody should come and remind them, to tell them that this is who you are. This is how God created you. And this is how you can take responsibility of exactly how God made you. And every time a person is made to understand who they are able to do better and to do great things. And we have hope. From the time we started, we have seen the lives of many men change. That's why they keep on coming back. And so we believe that we are going to enjoy and have a beautiful country, a beautiful world as men take their place.
God is going to amaze you. He's going to work in you. He's going to use you. He's going to preserve you to the end of the ages. You're free from all trouble.
UBC Lunchtime News. Katalemwa Rehabilitation Home has called on parents to stop hiding teenagers living with disability, but rather refer them to this center for assistance and rehabilitation. The home was receiving an assortment of items from the Association of Secretaries and Administrative Professionals.
Some of the challenges that we have, that everything that is used to children with disability are really expensive, that most of the parents cannot afford, and some of the parents, they take it wrong to accept that they have children with disabilities, so they end up hiding the children and deny them any opportunity to get the services.
Shout communities, like in this week when we are celebrating this week, and today we are here, we are at Katalemwa Rehabilitation Center. So this home is for people who have got disabilities of different nature. They are brought here and they are maintained for some time. So we always look at such places every year. We make sure we visit one. So I also encourage all of you members, rather the viewers, make sure you come and visit such places. You come and support, because they need our support. Yeah, what we've seen here, we encourage everyone to come and do what you can do.
As I've told you, I'm an amputee. Sometimes standing for so long a day, there's a way it somehow affects me. Somehow I feel, there's times when I feel pain due to overstanding and things like that. This
opportunity to inform everyone that services for children with disabilities are available in Uganda. Here at Katalemwa, we give services to children with disabilities, so I encourage every parent to bring their children to Katalemwa and they get services which will make them better as they grow up.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. Don't miss what we have on return.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
the Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Banyeta ko Muhangi Donata the chairperson wa group. I
am the chairperson of this group that got money. The group is called Kalsandala HIV/AIDS Craftswomen Group. UWEP gave us money in 2017 and they gave us 3.3 million Ugandan shillings. We used it in 1 year and got 23 million out of it. We do baskets and kitchen gardens, and we also have a saving group. We thank UWEP because this money helped us as women. Women can now educate their children and build houses because many of them are single mothers. We work without jealousy because we want to leave a legacy that even those who will be around tomorrow will appreciate.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripusi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
Thank you so much for watching. Let's now talk business news. In the face of Uganda's persistent revenue deficits, expanding the country's revenue base becomes not just a necessity but a strategic imperative. One promising avenue for achieving this lies in harnessing the potential of industries that are currently underdeveloped yet brimming with opportunity. Among these industries is the creative industry that stands out as a powerhouse waiting to be unleashed.
Despite receiving only modest investment, Uganda's creative industry already directly and indirectly employs over 2 million people across various sectors such as art, music, dance, drama, and fashion. Recent estimates peg Uganda's creative industry at a value of $1.5 billion, but experts believe its true potential could surpass $3 billion.
So we have a shortfall of at least 1.5 million jobs below the potential that we could be working on. We are aware as Private Sector Foundation of the critical challenges that affect the fashion industry, but generally also the creative sector, some of which includes access to capital, access to markets.
The gap between current performance and projected growth underscores the urgency of nurturing and expanding this sector.
There was such bad press around fashion design, being a fashion designer, and everyone attached it to something that was dirty, very improper in a way. And I know that they stood through all of that, they went through all of that, and they succeeded.
Recognizing the need for concerted action, stakeholders are now rallying to address the barriers hindering the industry's growth. At the PSFU Katali event held recently in Jinja, the spotlight fell squarely on the creative industry with a particular emphasis on the fashion sector. Fashion designers and other stakeholders took the stage, identifying key challenges and proposing actionable solutions to propel the industry forward.
We need more institutions that can teach these young people who have the passion for fashion, so that they can come out of those institutions when they know what to do. And then maybe we can just mentor them and maybe teach them a few things, but when they already know what they are doing.
So we're fighting our own battles. And then when you win, it's suddenly Uganda. But if you code and you have means and ways, why don't we come back down and say, now that you know that the creative industry is really powerful and can actually really get us there, how have we supported? For those at least, the 20% that will be willing to work, will be willing to put in the effort, how about we support them?
PSFU has pledged to collaborate with like-minded stakeholders to tackle these obstacles head-on and transform the creative industry into a vibrant engine of economic prosperity for both individuals and the nation.
At an individual level, we can definitely do that. So, for example, today, apart from my shoes, I am made in Uganda. I myself.
Laura Nagaba and Dennis Sigoa, UBC News.
Equity Bank has mobilized women in Hoima district to utilize quick and small loans to thrive in the agricultural practices of value addition chain. Equity Bank, Lambert Kusemberera reiterates on their women with financial literacy lessons, especially on utilization of loans for households' incomes.
Some homes are calling me. So providing services, so you can benefit from those services when you have the income. If you have the income and
there has been a tendency of women going for bank etambula. This quick money, because most of them have a challenge of school fees, so they run to bank etambula to get quick loan. At the end of it all, they lose the property. So I call upon the women, let's utilize these equity programs to avoid risking our business.
so we call them to ensure that we train them. We've done financial literacy training, teaching them how to manage their businesses, teaching them how to save, teaching them how to ensure their businesses grow. So we are here in Hoima and trying to tell them how to manage businesses. Basically, that's why we call them, and how to ensure that they grow in whatever they are doing. So we had different trainers. We trained them about the bank products, how to open bank accounts, how to get loan facilities, and how basically to use them to ensure they.
And I'm so grateful because they have an OD, they have like it's a loan or a bank draft, others call it so. They give you the money, you use it for 5 days, and you put it back, and it's something which is not a hassle. It has really helped us because you serve all the customers with diligence. People out there will see you as a manager, they will see you as a billionaire.
And we'll wind up with a story from the sports industry. And there, the Uganda Secondary Schools Sports Association technical team yesterday visited Masaka Secondary School to inspect the grounds and facilities that will be hosting this year's Boys Football National Schools Championship that will start on the 26th of April this year. Over 20 schools from all regions of the country are expected to take part in the edition.
To have a final inspection of the playgrounds and the facilities that have been prepared by Masaka Senior Secondary School to host this year's boys football. So far, so good. We've moved in all the pitches and we've identified about 10 grounds that are going to be completely prepared, that are going to be slashed, that are going to be marked, and they will be ready for hosting our national games this year.
Okay.
Screening will be done as teams will be arriving on their arrival, and the teams will be set for the screening. The accommodation is already set for all the teams, and we expect about 64 schools to come here. So we warmly welcome all the teams that qualified from various zones in the country to come and take part at this year's USSA Games at Masaka Senior Secondary School.
And are all set, waiting for just the kickoff. We are convinced. We have worked on 10 grounds, and we believe there will be enough. They are not very far from the school, just 3 kilometers away. That is the ground which is a bit far, and then the rest are within. We feel we are going to have a nice championship. I want to welcome the schools which are coming to come ready for the ball.
The flash.
We thank you so much for watching. That is all we had for you this lunchtime. Let's catch you in our other bulletins, Luganda, Kiswahili, and I'll be here myself for news tonight. For now, enjoy the rest of the day and the week. Bye-bye.